But in less than a year, Jimmy Swaggart could have eaten those words because he was caught by churchman Marvin Gorman outside the motel in New Orleans where he'd been with prostitute Debra Murphree. Eventually, he admitted to his congregation and his wife Frances that he had given in to the very temptation he preached against.
I have sinned against you, my Lord. I have sinned against you. And I beg your forgiveness.
In this month's Penthouse magazine, an explicit story with pictures is told by prostitute Debra Murphree, who joins us this morning. Good morning, Debra.
Hi.
You were shaking your head as you were watching those pictures of Jimmy Swaggart. What were you thinking?
He's up there crying, and I know those tears aren't real.
How do you know?
They just can't be. I mean, because he was up there preaching about all this stuff and then kind of doing it, you know, and...
But couldn't his tears of repentance be real?
Well, maybe, but to me, I don't really think so because, you know, I watch him on TV. You know, I mean, I don't really watch him, but some of the things I've seen, you know, he's a totally different person than when he seen me. That's the real person I think he was.
Did you know it was Jimmy Swaggart?
Yes.
But how long do you suppose you saw him, and how many times?
I guess around 20, 25 times. It was 1 to 3 times a month.
How long had you been on the streets at this point?
I had been working for about 6 years, but I'd only been in New Orleans, I guess, 2, 3 weeks maybe.
And you... why have you gone public?
Well, because we got caught, okay, and he confessed and he didn't tell the truth. And, you know, he's out there preaching about all this pornography and stuff, and then turning around wanting to do it with a 9-year-old little girl. If I hadn't come out with it, he'd still be in the ministries.
Some people say, Debra, that you didn't get caught. Some speculate that you might have been a part of catching him.
No, I don't think
you had a
so.
relationship, though, with a police officer who was Marvin Gorman's son.
Yes.
Marvin Gorman being the man that Swaggart brought down by accusing him of sexual forays, right?
Mm-hmm.
another preacher with Assemblies of God. How long did you see the police officer who was Gorman's son?
I dated him about the same time. I met him around, I guess it was either, I think it was right after I met Swaggart. Yeah.
And did this police officer, know it was Jimmy Swaggart?
Well, not to write off, because I dated this police officer, I just seen him very few times. In the last few months before we got caught, I had told him that I was dating Jimmy Swaggart because I'd told a lot of people. And he got real interested, and started asking me questions and stuff, and I couldn't understand why. But
you didn't know he was Gorman's son?
No.
At that point.
No, I didn't know he was Randy Gorman.
Did you know that, you didn't know that was his name? Oh,
No.
You didn't make the connection?
No, I didn't even know his real name. He didn't tell me his real name.
No.
He always used another name, but I don't remember what that was.
Was he
But I had found out later that they had me under surveillance for 3 weeks in the hotel.
Do you suppose that flat had been created by Gorman?
I believe so, because, he pulled up and he wasn't in there long enough for it to go down like that,
And then, trying to fix the car, Gorman came by.
Well, that's because the detective that was in the room, from what we had found out, he had called Marvin Gorman. And he came on down. They let the air out of his tire, so give him a chance, to get there. But I kept seeing this guy driving by, in this blue car, and then when he finally pulls in the parking lot, so I'd never seen a picture of Marvin Gorman either, so.
It's reported that Penthouse paid you $250,000 for the photographs.
Well, that was something my lawyer advised me not to discuss.
Do you know why he advised you not to discuss it? I mean, you're not on trial or anything.
Well, no. I don't know why, so I just...
You're listening to him.
Yeah, I don't talk about it.
Are you... Well, that's basically all he did. He penetrated you once.
Well, yeah, but what it was is about my daughter, and maybe the sexual toy, because I never get into that either.
Shocking. That's an interesting point of view. You mean do as I do, do as I say, not as I do?
Well, maybe what he's doing and preaching about is because what he's doing is wrong. He knows it's wrong. Maybe that's why he's preaching that it's wrong.
But you know, it's interesting. The man brought down Marvin Gorman, another preacher, for allegations that he was sexually involved. The man spoke out against Jim Bakker for his acts of homosexuality. And the whole time, the man was involved with Debra. You don't find that funny?
I just find that, yeah, maybe he does need counseling. Maybe he does need help. But I know he helped me through a lot of tough times. Watching his shows have helped me through. I'm an ex-prostitute myself.
Are you?
And as far as I'm concerned, I'm all for him because he helped me through tough times.
Okay.
I'm no longer in the business myself. I just think they should let it go. He's helping and bringing plenty of people to Jesus and to God.
How does he help? And how did he help you? Did he help you leave prostitution?
I was involved with this is complicated. I was involved with someone who had AIDS. At that point in time, I was very concerned and worrying that, and it wasn't from the business, that something was going to happen to me. And I found his telecast on one morning, and I watched it, and it brought me through.
Doesn't Jimmy Swaggart agree with some other televangelists who say that AIDS is the devil's work?
Probably. Maybe that's why I've tested negative twice.
Say that again. I'm sorry, I missed it.
Maybe it is the devil's work. Maybe that's why I've tested negative twice.
Huh.
So I'm fine. Maybe because I have God in my life now.
Okay.
Maybe he prevented me from getting it.
Well, thanks for the point of view.
I just want to say that I feel he's helping a lot of people, and he's helped myself.